Hello and welcome to this live on LinkedIn. I haven't been live on LinkedIn for a while, so let's hope I remember how this works. And welcome to presenting the hotel marketing space, a new venture. And here with me is Tamara, one of the very first collaborators and people whom I talked with about the hotel marketing space. So those who don't know me, my name is Mirette. Or if you're on my LinkedIn feed, you probably do know who I am. Nice to see you on here. And Tamara, would you like to also introduce yourself before we kick this off?
Absolutely. Sure. Hey, Moret, thank you so much for having me. I'm Tamara Moldoui, founder of Monovan Digital Marketing Solutions, and we help businesses navigate the digital landscape. I'm so excited about the hotel marketing space. So really pumped to be here with you, Moret, today to kick it off, to launch it. Congratulations, all that good stuff.
Thank you so much, Tamara. So yeah, the hotel marketing space is a brand new venture, and it's a brand new platform. For those who haven't been on the website yet, well, here is the URL just so that you might want to take a look while we talk about it, so you better understand what we're talking about. So in a nutshell, the hotel marketing space is so it's not my space. It's a space for marketers and hotel professionals. Yeah. And it's a venture that I started just like over 10 days ago, which is very recently. But
Yeah.
it's been in the doing. And Tamara, I think the very first time we spoke about this idea, I told you this would be a nice idea was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. And you kind of started breathing it into life by actually doing the hotel marketing show on Clubhouse, on, you know what I mean, on LinkedIn. So I think you were giving it life for quite a few months. And this is just the next iteration of it, right? And I think it was all written, and it's now you're just bringing it all together. So I love seeing that.
Thank you. Yes, and it's true. It all started with club rooms. It all started on Clubhouse, and I got on Clubhouse last year, February 20th to be exact, and I started the Hotel Marketing Club March 6th, so just like a year and 2 months ago, right? So it's not that long ago, but lots have happened in the meanwhile. Right. We've been very active, both of us on Clubhouse. You still have your daily show. And we all know how amazing Clubhouse is in bringing together entrepreneurs, bringing together business owners, bringing together marketing professionals. And I feel this is what it's become, right? A place where business owners and entrepreneurs and marketers meet, right?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's a place where all of a sudden you're kind of like in this live conversation about your business, right? And you're like, wait a second, I've been looking for this the entire time. You know, you pick up so many in different rooms, you pick up so many different things that you can implement. And I really love that. In the beginning, we had a lot of people in the space, and, people were like, oh my God, we've lost viewership. And I'm like, well, I think we've really kind of gotten rid of the fluff. And now we have the right people in the space who want to listen, who want to collaborate, and then sometimes who actually want you to do the work for them. So we've reached that nice area on Clubhouse. I don't know that the folks that are running Clubhouse will think so. they may have different KPIs, but according to my KPIs, I'm like, we're right on track.
It's true, but I think it's a natural process, right? Every social platform finds its audience, finds its sweet spot. I think it's natural, whether or not it's the direction that the founders wanted it to go into. I don't know. We cannot know that, right? Maybe they had anticipated it somehow, maybe, and maybe not. But for sure, for us, it's a great place where you know that you can get on the platform any moment. You will always find a room on a topic that you're interested in, even if you're just listening to it podcast time, right? Maybe while you're having lunch, you're having breakfast, you can just listen to it in the background. So I've always been quite active I was quite active until November. Lots of rooms, lots of interesting rooms. Thank you to people such as Tamara who joined, participated, different topics, influencer marketing, digital marketing, websites, the definition of luxury hotels, you name it. So many different topics, and it's always been very much fun. After the club, towards the last 2-3 months, I also started LinkedIn live shows. So July through to November. Yeah. Also there did quite a few LinkedIn live shows on hotel marketing topics. And I think, Tamara, you'll agree with me. The time when we noticed that there is a lot of interest in among marketers to collaborate, right? To do more than just get into rooms together, right? Like you get ideas, we could work on this together, we could do this together. And I think it's very palpable, right? You can really feel it. And yeah, I think that's how ventures are born, right?
Absolutely. And I think this venture was born from that. Right? You've made and moved into business relationships, right? So talk a little bit about what exactly is the hotel marketing space and what's happening in that hotel marketing space.
So what is it exactly? So to be very exact, it's a web platform. It's a recruiting, consulting, education, and networking platform. What does this mean? It's a platform where professionals can offer their services to hotels and where hotels can hire as they go services that they need. For instance, let's say you're a luxury hotel marketer, yeah? And you're working on a special project, a restaurant opening, for instance, and you want to develop a website for that new restaurant you're opening, right? You might need you'll need, I don't know, the right graphic designer, the right copywriter, the right website developer, the right SEO specialist. You might not necessarily know where to go to find them, right? You don't want to hire these people. It's not people that you want on your payroll. You might not even necessarily want to go through an agency because we know that agencies, I hope my agency friends don't hate me, but they can be a nightmare at times or a headache. They can be way too expensive for maybe those 2 weeks of work that you need for a copywriter to get the job done. There are such platforms already. It's nothing new. I'm not talking to you about something that's coming out of the blue. There are platforms where you can hire as you go marketing services, right? We know them, Fiverr, Upwork. We can name them, no problem. Naming them.
Definitely. But this is different though, because it's
very different.
Right.
It's for the hotel space. It's for hoteliers. It's for hospitality. So it's for hotels, restaurants, spas. And when you get on there, you don't necessarily see the people offering the services. You hire the services, whereas we behind the scenes, we know who are the right people for that specific project. And that's where the big difference is, right? You are hiring people who have a genuine interest in hotels, have worked with hotels before. We get to differentiate professionals between lifestyle marketers, luxury marketers, budget marketers, because it's not always the same, right? Marketing a luxury hotel is not the same as marketing a lifestyle hotel. Marketing a city hotel is not the same thing as marketing a beach resort. So you need the right professionals for your project, right? You might need a social media manager. Maybe your social media manager is on maternity leave. You need someone to replace that person for 6 months, for instance. You don't have that much time to spend on hiring. You want to get the right person fast. Yeah.
Agreed.
And that is the place to go. So that is more on the recruitment side, right? We spoke about consulting. So on the consulting side, it's a bit different, is because you don't need like very specific services, and it's not usually just for a couple of hours or a couple of weeks. You need someone more senior, right? And with a more complex background, you know, and that person it will be a different hiring form, let's say hiring process, and we're talking about more senior professionals and with very specific knowledge.
Right.
Right, but can be a consultant maybe for a hotel pre-opening, right? Someone who's, think of it as a project manager, right?
With a hotel background, right? So it's really all focused on hotels. And I love that, right? So Marat, talk a little bit about the importance of recruiting the right people, because you're going to spend time, and you're already doing it, curating the right people for this experience, because it's not a Fiverr or Upwork where the hotel has to go in and check all the boxes and find the person. You're looking to really kind of bring in and curate the right people. Talk about that and the importance of that to you, because I think Marek as a brand in itself really stands for that. There's excellence there, right? You hold us all to a standard, I like to say. So really talk about how you're translating that into the hotel marketing space.
So more than the right people, Tamara, we find the best people. And there's no second best. I like to say it's either someone is good or not good for a specific project, right? At the moment, there is a very depressing talent shortage in the industry, and let's face it. There's no need to hide it. There's no need to now see things through rose-colored glasses.
Right.
It is a reality. There is talent shortage, so you see lots of hotels going for second best hiring solutions, right? And that's sad. That's sad, right? Because that could just mean, it's the difference between success and failure of a project. So obviously we're putting into it a lot of effort, right? And we're only suggesting really, as you said, the right people who are the best people for every specific project. Now, something that is worth mentioning, a lot of these tasks can be done remotely. I would say maybe 80% will be done remotely, right? We offer local and remote services, meaning if you need photographers, obviously these have to be local and not
Right.
right? Videographers, right? Maybe for some content creators also, right? And by content creators, I don't mean like photographers or videographers. I mean really people who are creating content for your social accounts, your online channels, right? And there's a difference there. But these have to be on the ground. These have to be local, right? Local employees, right? Hire as you go employees. But for the remote options, it becomes, it's both tricky and easy, meaning it becomes easier to find the right, let's say, website designer, yeah, if it can be done remotely rather than if you want to find someone in a very specific location.
Right.
But, Tamara, we've discussed this also. You need to localize also. As someone who needs to maybe understand, first of all, the language is a big thing. This is a global platform. So the aim is to be able to offer services in different languages. So if you need a copywriter in French, German, Arabic, you will get that, right? It's not only all in English, although the website, just to make my life easier right now, is in English. But the services will be in different languages. Yeah, which is very important in marketing and communications. May I also add something, Tamara? And this is something which is very, very important to me. What do we mean by marketing? Because a lot of people have a very narrow interpretation of the word marketing. For us, for me, as for you, Tamara, and for other people involved with this platform, marketing is a mix of, it's the sum of different parts. It also includes communications, it also includes public relations, but most importantly, it also includes business development and revenue management. Yeah. Right. So we have a broad interpretation of marketing, yeah, which I think is very important in these days. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because if we're not looking at it holistically, then we're really looking at sometimes just the pretty picture and, the just shallow metrics, right? You need to look at all of it so that these hotels can be successful, right? So I love that you really kind of streamline that. One of the things you mentioned earlier on is that shortage of talent. And so let's talk a little bit about finding, what kind of got you to this space of seeing this opportunity, right? Because there's a gap there that you were like, wait a second, something is happening in these markets. How can I fill this gap? So definitely talk a little bit about that, because you're also, while you're creating the hotel marketing space, what we're doing here is effectively marketing the hotel marketing space. All right. So is it like double-edged marketing happening? So exactly. But talk about that, finding that gap and finding and really looking to see, hey, here's how I can effectively fill this gap, by curating all these folks, the right folks together for the right hotels.
Yeah, as you rightly said, now we are marketing the marketing space. It's a new platform. It's a new platform. Although all the work, right, that has been done before really launching it, yeah, and all the connections made and all the conversations had, and the club rooms, the LinkedIn lives, the phone calls, the WhatsApp calls, the video calls, you name it, Uh, the gap of the talent shortage is something that anyone in the hotel industry would tell you about. Anyone. I want to find one person who disagrees on that. One person
Mhm.
would not be able to find. So you will tell me, well, then you have an impossible job, Merit. It's an impossible job to find the right people. Yes and no. Yes and no. It is a challenge. It's not easy, and you know it way better than I do. It's not easy to find good marketing talent. It has never been easy.
Right.
This is not new,
It's
right?
not.
This
It's
is not
not.
new.
Because
No.
marketing sometimes is a little bit fluffy, and sometimes people are able to come in through the door and do the fluff part of it, and say that's marketing. But as you're going deeper, it's about finding those people who can go deeper with you as well and give that holistic view of marketing, right?
But I'll tell you what is new. What is new is that the world has changed through
Mm,
COVID, big time. It was
sure.
already changing, but now it has changed massively. So you have talent, you have good talent. Are they easier to find than earlier? Well, yes, if you are willing to accept contract workers, right? If you are happy to work with people remotely, then it becomes easier, right? Because a lot of good marketers in all industry, now I'm not talking just about hotels, I'm talking about all industries in general. Going freelance has almost become the norm rather than the exception to the rule, right? Um, a lot of people want to work on different projects, maybe simultaneously. People have seen that they can do things very easily remotely, might want to maybe travel more, might want to experience more. And so there is talent, right? Now, where the platform's job, the tricky part is to entice them to get onto the projects that we get to know of through our hotel friends, right? So the matching part is what I see as the more challenging bit. Okay, we know a lot of marketers, we know a lot of maybe graphic designers, copywriters, SEO specialists, you name it. Yeah, we know a lot of these people. The matching, right, with specific hotel projects, right, is the trickier bit. Yeah.
Right.
Um, that's where I see the challenge. Yeah.
I see that. I can definitely understand that. It's like you're a matchmaker, right? You're pulling
It's
together
like Tinder. It's like Tinder,
Tinder.
It's like Tinder.
It's the hotel Tinder. Put that in your brand messaging, why don't you?
It's exactly like Tinder because you have a give and an ask. And there were these club rooms. A club. Remember on Clubhouse there were these rooms where you come up with a give and an ask.
Right.
It's exactly the same thing. Uh, but there's one way to make things a bit easier that we did not discuss tomorrow. So right now, this part of the website is not live, but will be going live soon. Is where you can actually start booking, right? Because we're still in the test phase, where you can actually start booking the services. I very strongly believe in equal pay. So this will mean that for the same service, for each service, for instance, I'll make an example. The easy example that I always like to give is press release in English,
Press
right?
release.
I always make this
I thought
example.
about it. I said, I was like, it's going to be a press release.
And I like this example because it's very easy. Because I tell you why it's very easy. And here, all my PR agency friends would hate me. But sometimes you don't have to pay a PR agency, I don't know how many thousands of dollars just to get a press release per month, right? You really just need to get one good damn press release. So now you'll get that press release for a certain amount. Let's say, for instance, $100. I'm just putting whatever number there just
Example, we're not saying it's $100.
piece of presentation. No matter who is then doing it, who is this task is being assigned to, You will see a press release by person with that number. What you will always see is the number of relevant years of experience.
Right.
Yeah, that is very important. Yeah, so to know that the press release is being written by someone who has been writing press releases for the past 10 years, for instance, is different than knowing it's a press release written by someone who has only started 2 months ago. Yeah.
Right. Very, very different.
That is where I see the more important. Then, regardless, and you know how open and inclusive I am, regardless of where you are located, what your name is, or the color of your eyes, the color of your hair, you will always get paid that amount. That is a fixed amount for the service. Yeah.
Right.
This is something very important to me, right? That people get paid equally for the services that they deliver. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I love that. So what I'm hearing is that you're actually rolling in some of your beliefs, which is awesome. So we have the excellence, and now that equality in pay. So the one of the things I want you to touch on, while we've talked about the hotel marketing space, it's stepping outside of a corporate job to now do this and be able to roll your belief system as part of the foundation for the hotel marketing space. Talk about that a little bit, because I think that's very intriguing and interesting. So we got the excellence, making sure that we're driving the right, the right people to do the job for the right hotels, and then now that excellence in that fair pay, equality in pay. So we're seeing your footprints all over this. So talk about.
Well, if it's a business venture where I'm investing money and time, at the very least, it has to mirror my own beliefs, right? I think it's very important. Also because one always has to be fair with people, right? How can you convince people to collaborate and to get into your business idea if you're not treating them fairly, right? It's and with honesty. So this is something that I think will be key to the success of the platform. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same as with the clubhouse rooms, right? We've learned that on all social accounts, if you're not inclusive, if you're not fair to people, you give people equal time, to speak their mind, to reach out, ask questions, then no one will participate. Yeah. So I think it's almost common sense, but common sense is not as common as we would like to.
Yeah, you can't take common sense for granted. You know what I'm saying? So now let's talk about the hotel side of things, right? So how do you draw in the hotels? How do you draw in the hotels into this new space, new venture? Because some of them, this could be uncharted territory, right? And they may have had some experiences in a place like Fiverr or in a place like Upwork, but this could be uncharted territory for them. So how are you reaching out to them to get them to buy into this new venture and buy into the hotel marketing space?
Do you know, Tamara, how much time and money and effort hotels spend on looking for people and then ending up sometimes spending, I don't know, months without really then hiring the right talent, right?
Right.
It's a lot of time and money, a lot of time and money. Yeah, it's very painful. It's very painful. Of course, as I said, there are other platforms. You name them again, Fiverr, Upwork. Very good, but good luck. Yeah, good luck with just.
Good luck. Right. Yeah. Experience could be it could be good, it could be bad.
I had both amazing and terrible experiences with Fiverr, for instance, right? So good luck. Or do you want to have the guarantee that person that at the start, Tamara, there will also be cases where we'll tell them, listen, for this specific project, we have no one now.
Right. Right.
You're
not going to take the work to take the work, because we want to tie it to results, and we want.
Yeah, that's definitely not ruining my reputation by saying take whatever, whoever, whenever, right? It's the other thing is, over time we will learn what hotels really need. It goes both ways, right? Uncharted territory for hotels, uncharted territory also for us as we start approaching hotels and asking. The previous weeks had conversations. What exactly do you need, and what would make more sense for your business? Yeah, it goes both ways. No rush. There's no rush. I'm not in a rush like to now have build Amazon in 2 weeks. No rush.
Right.
World domination will come with time.
In time, I appreciate that. You're like, give us, in time, we'll be there.
Yeah.
I love the whatchamacallit, the confidence, and I think you're 100% right. Talk about the markets though, right? Right. Talk about the markets that you're looking at where you're seeing these gaps, because you've experienced this while you were in your corporate space or your hotel space, and you saw those gaps. So really kind of talk about what you see happening as things move forward.
So I always, and I think I told you this before, I've lived in 14 different places, worked in less, but I worked in different continents, different countries. I talk to people in pretty much all over the world. It's a global problem. It's a global problem. It's not a problem, limited to just one specific country, one specific continent. Having said that, though, my personal experience and the places I know well, because of my own culture, my own background, and my own connections, my own networks, are the Middle East and Europe, right? So this is then makes it easier for me personally, yeah. But why am I also collaborating with people like yourself, also in different geographies, right? Is to understand different markets and different problems that they might have. But for the time being, focus is yes, Europe and specifically Middle East. Yeah, I was in Dubai last week for a trade show, the biggest trade show, the Arabian travel market.
All that.
Chatted with a lot of colleagues, former colleagues, and friends, which corroborated the fact that there is a problem when it comes to hiring the right marketing talent. So many hotel openings, very interesting, exciting projects. How sad though that they don't necessarily have the right talent for those projects, right? So
Right.
we're here to help our hotel friends make the most of their ambitions and their projects and their visions. So yeah.
So to talk about that, so you were a man on the ground last week.
Yeah.
You and I were communicating via WhatsApp. I was so excited. I got to follow on LinkedIn and just kind of stay abreast of what was going on, and just the text back and forth. It was just like I was just like, oh my God, I should be there. So talk about being on the
Exactly.
ground and feeling the energy. I mean, I love a good conference. So first of all, probably it was the first conference in a while.
Yes.
And talk about what the response is, and you said that they confirmed for you that this is the right move, right? The need is there, but talk about some of those responses when you started. Did you do a lot of pitching, or was it like, and then how are they seeing you in the space? Because that's another thing, right? Over time, what you've done is a great job of positioning yourself as a subject matter expert. So what was the response to them seeing you, the new thing that you're doing? And, yeah, let's talk about that, because that's the part.
Yeah, very first thing, more than about me, is really about their projects. Yeah. I think after 2 years right now, Corona, 2 years and a couple of months, I mean, we're also fed up of any restrictions and we all want to travel. And you can tell that people want to travel. People want to travel. It's true that maybe leisure travel has picked up a bit more than the business travel. That's true. Although I do believe in still in conferences, trade shows, workshops, that's all back, right? And so they did confirm that there are a lot of new projects that everyone is very excited about, like a lot of new hotel openings, that you can really not count them, right? And by a lot, we mean not like maybe like in the next couple of months, but over the next 2-3 years, a lot happening. A lot of course, excitement from my side and from side of friends, people who know me very well, to see me now move into more of the entrepreneurial side of things. I think that's exciting for all of us, right? I have always been very blessed throughout my career to have very good mentors, supporters, very good colleagues, and I'm very blessed to see that this support is still continuing now, even in my new role, right? I think it's it's a people's business in the end, hospitality, right? And we all help each other. Yeah. So that's why I started off by saying this is not my platform. This is a platform for hotel professionals, for marketers, for content creators, videographers, photographers, copywriters, you name it. It's all about all of us helping each other achieve our goals, right? And make our projects happen rather than just keeping them as ideas.
Right. Agreed. 100%. I think, that is the big opportunity, right? To really give these hotels a space where they can actually, run the hotels, right? Because the marketing, all those things just become so much. And there's still the day-to-day operations of just a hotel getting heads in bed. So how do you take this holistic marketing that you're putting forth, the revenue management, the consulting, all the pieces, hiring for them, getting the right folks to get them to be successful? Because all these hotels have goals and KPIs, right? That they're coming out in a year to 2 years, but we already know they have their goals in mind. So I think you're also speaking to the heart of that, right? We can help you with the hotel marketing space really achieve those goals, get you to that next step. And then also, I think one of the things we didn't talk about just yet in the hotel marketing space is the opportunity for education, right?
Yes.
Filling some of those gaps. So talk about that a little bit.
So that's the third pillar, exactly. So after recruitment, consulting comes education. Not that it is less important, it's just that in order of what has been developed, right, over time. So the education bit is an interesting one, and I know that you are very keen on this one, and looking forward to it. It will be a very flexible platform. There'll be workshops, one-on-one workshops, for instance. Let's make very specific examples because you know how I like examples. So let's make an example of how to write a press release. So
Right.
that could be a one-on-one 1 hour workshop, right? Where it's so that part of the education portal targets mostly junior marketers, right? You have a lot of people who were just starting off or might have 1 or maximum 2 years of experience, might feel a bit lost, right? Especially in the absence of marketing teams, because we started out by saying, right, hotels don't necessarily have the big marketing teams that they used to have some time ago. So what happens is that you have some junior marketers who might feel a bit lost. They're not too sure how to learn some things. What do they need to learn now? What to prioritize? So there will be some one-on-one lectures that they can purchase through the platform. These are live workshops, so they really get trained, right, with an instructor. And then there will be a similar live workshops, but with the teams, groups of people. And then there will be things that you're also working on, videos to be downloaded, right? So courses that they can download and watch when they can. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
One other thing is the mentorship also. That will also come, maybe not in the very first instance, but this is also being planned, where junior marketers can purchase packages of mentorship. Yeah. So they get someone who can guide them through their personal development plan and coach them on how to reach the next step of their careers. So mentorship.
So it's not just this platform where you can hire. You're also saying, hey, if you have talent that you want to develop. So you're really looking at the hotels in a really holistic way, right? And you've said this before. You can develop talent here. You can hire talent here. You can get that foundation. And then also the people that are developed can also grow and eventually become a part of the hotel marketing space, because you understand it's almost like creating that school, and you understand the foundation that they now have to be able to resell their skills to potentially new hotels in the hotel marketing space as freelancers, or however they wanted to pursue it, at side hustles, whatever they want to do. So there's real opportunity there. So I think those are some of the differences when we look at some of these other platforms we've talked about. I don't know that there's an opportunity for development, right? So that development piece, I believe, is really, really, really a good element. It's like that extra, that differentiator that can give hotels something to say, hey, you know what, we can really stand on this, and this is where we can direct our training budgets. And we know these training budgets allow them to come out with, okay, now this person now has the skill set to write a press release, right? Because those tangibles, they need to be able to see that. And that also is going to save them money in the long run, right? So it's a real, I mean, you're looking at all the parts, Marette. I love that. I love that you spent the time really looking at all the moving parts of this and putting it into the hotel marketing space. The mentorship, another thing I think that's always amazing, right? I've had, and you talked about it, you've had mentors that have helped you to get from the place you are to where you were to where you are right now. So how do we then give those junior marketing professionals that same type of mentorship to make sure they understand I'm on the right track, that professional development that may be outside of just hotel marketing, but what does the trajectory look like for you? So I think you're giving, there's a lot that's happening on the platform, but the people will get what they need. The hotels will get what they need, as well as the marketers can get what they need. Yeah. So
I'd like to add something there, because there is a platform, and I think it's called Otello. I don't have problems naming a competitor, but they're not really competitors because no one's as amazing as we are. So that's why I have no problems dropping names.
I love that. Gauntlet down.
No, it's that because there is a platform, similar platform, but again, it's not for just hotel marketers, right? It's not just for hoteliers. So when I talk about mentorship, this is senior hotel marketers who mentor junior hotel marketers, right? So it's people who have been through what you would like to go through career-wise, right? Who have been through all that and know the industry very well, right? So they know what they're talking about, which is very important when you are whenever you want to buy a workshop, attend a conference, get mentorship. The first question is, do you really understand what career I want, and have you been through it?
Right.
Or are you just telling me the usual blah blah that I can read in mentorship books? No, I love mentorship books, but you do realize that sometimes the advice is so generic.
Yes.
And the person isn't in your situation, hasn't lived the career that you want. So
what's the point? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be relatable, right? It needs to be 100% relatable. And mentorship is, I think that is, it's sensitive. It's sensitive because you want, when you spend time mentoring someone or being mentored, you want to be in a space where you're walking away saying, hey, I have the answers. It's not necessarily a therapy session where, you're thinking through the answers yourself. You need to get to that place of, how do I really get there? So I'm excited to see what the mentors look like and how people are able to grow, and give them a track, right? What does that path look like? What are the steps? There's a workflow to get to that, right? Is it, you need to take these 5 classes first, and then you need to step up and do this practical project to showcase, right? Because in mentorship, I mentor with Youth Business of Trinidad and Tobago, where one of the things I've done is really taking the digital marketing when we're working on marketing and making sure that they're actually doing it, right? So they can say, hey, here's how I've used this to grow my business and to grow myself. And now they have this practical application for it. So making mentorship more practical is I think could be game changing for this platform as well. So I see there's so many things that you've been able to catch and bring into it. There are many.
The fourth pillar, let's not forget, Samara.
Talk about that.
Networking. So finally, the networking aspect. And why does it fit in very well just after talking about mentorship and learning? Because you can have all the hard skills, the soft skills, the mentorship and everything you want. But if you don't have connections, you're going nowhere, right? So I think this is even as an industry as a whole, right? If we're not supporting each other, if we're not connecting, collaborating, teaching each other things, as we've been doing, right, Tamara, over the past months, you go nowhere. Yeah. So networking is super important. Networking will happen both virtually, but also with in-person events. Before the pandemic, I used to organize in Dubai hotel marketer gatherings twice a month. There's breakfast, after work drinks. So I'd like to bring these back. They were always well attended. And it's really the perfect way to get to hear what other marketers are struggling with, what other challenges they're facing. I know that through these events, people have found jobs, people have found the right content creators to hire. So these networking events have always been important, and that's why I want to bring them back. But also globally, right? Not only in a specific city. And I think we also have to give opportunity to people who might be in remote places to attend virtual networking events, right? Because yeah, it's important to give the opportunity to everyone who would like to network, make connections, and yeah,
Definitely. And Moret, you are the queen of networking. I have to say, okay, listen. And then this is coming from a networker herself. Okay. You have been able to take this networking global and build it. And you're absolutely right. This is a part of the networking, right? I'm here now because we've been able to network. The hotel room, the hotel room, the clubhouse room that I run is a part of networking as well. But you really leveraged networking in a way to help move this hotel marketing space forward. And I think having that as a pillar as well is so important for all the things you talked about.
But I'm very selective with my network.
Absolutely. Talk about that, right? It's not everyone doesn't come into the network just like that. You have to be.
You have to fill an application form.
You do.
No, because Tamara, you and I see also Russell here in the comments. Thank you for the kind words. And even the other people involved in this platform, I like to make things happen. You know that I'm not a blah blah person. I'm not going to stay hours and days and months talking about things without doing. Yeah. So this is something which is very important to me, and I think this will be also very important to the people on the platform. It's about getting things done. Yeah. The thing of maybe one day, let's see, maybe tomorrow, I don't know, it depends on my mood, it doesn't really work. Yeah.
Right.
Doesn't work for successful projects, will not work for the success of the hotel marketing space. And I think it's we have a bias for action. Yeah.
Absolutely. I say all the time, so many things are just not implemented. There's so many times in marketing, there are these great grand ideas sitting on a business plan or a digital marketing plan or a marketing plan somewhere that just really doesn't get implemented. So I love the fact that you take action and you push people to take action. The other thing I love about you is that other perspective, right? So, and I love that that's going to come to the hotel marketing space, right? It's that really hypercritical eye of the other side of the coin, which is the thing that stands out to me.
People, I just got a comment earlier today that I am perceived as hard work and intense, and honestly, I think it's true. It's true. I think if you
it's also it depends on how you view those words, right? I think words are so interesting to me. I'm also viewed as intense and aggressive. You know what I mean? And I think I need a T-shirt that says aggressive, intense also, because I think we need to be intense and aggressive in our pursuits in order to bring excellence, right? So there's something behind that. So those words, I think, take them and wear them as a badge of honor, right? Because
if you want someone to just say, yes, you are right, Tamara, you are amazing, that you don't come to me, right? For that.
Don't come to Moret. Don't come to Moret. Moret will check your homework and be like, hey, fix it this way, this way, this way. And there's no bad feeling behind it. It is simply in the pursuit of excellence. Here's how we adjust and adapt. And I think that's great. And that, for me, coming to the hotel marketing space is also a differentiator that most people probably will not know is happening in the background, that you are going to be there looking at it and thinking about, well, what about this perspective? Does this really work? This is a trend. Is this something that's necessary in hotels right now, or is it just trending in the industry? industry? How do we drive to results, and how do we really grow this brand? So I'm really excited about what you're bringing to the table. And for, again, I'm sure everyone who you've talked to, who's been involved, who's involved, is just really excited to work with you and honored to work with you. I am glad over the last few years to be able to call you my friend, and now to just be a part of this hotel marketing space. You really, really drive excellence, and I'm excited to see that as this project moves forward.
The honor is all mine. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope this gave people a broad view, right? And happy to answer any questions about the hotel marketing space. So 4 pillars, right? Recruitment, consulting, education, networking. If you'd like to get involved, please do reach out to us. And yeah, do check out the website. I think at the start now, it's important to get some initial feedback. It helps us a lot to get feedback, to get comments. Of course, critical feedback, negative feedback is much more helpful than the positive feedback. Don't waste your time saying it looks amazing.
Right. Don't tell us it looks good. We got that.
Yeah.
Stuff. Because those are the things, you're right. Those are the things we can look at and we can fix and we can solve for, right? So 100%.
So yes, thank you so much, Tamara, for joining me on this live stream. I keep the live on my LinkedIn feed so people can watch the replay and reach out if they have any questions. So thank you, Tamara. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome. Have a great one. Take care, guys. Bye.